Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Aquarius. If Aquarius is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Devil. The Devil. You might think, oh my goodness, I don't want that energy. I don't like it. This is not a good card to pull. I don't know. I kind of am always excited when the Devil card comes up. I really feel like it is kind of the great dissolver of the constraints of living a maybe conventional life, or living in a way that is not authentic to yourself, to your path, to your true will. And so when that Devil energy comes around, it really is about realigning things. It's about having the courage to step away from that which does not serve you, that which is not for you. I always think of it as kind of like those times in our life where we live in other people's realities, other people's worlds, other people's ideas of what life is and how it should be and how we should behave and how we should, achieve and all of this. And then we have these moments where we decide, nah, no, not anymore, not working for me. And I feel like that's often that Devil energy. Okay, so immediately I'm looking here, and it looks like it says H-E-N. Okay, so it looks like N, maybe an N, maybe a U, but it looks like hen. Okay, a female chicken. So hen. It could be Ben, because it does look almost like it's a B, B-E-N. It could be Ben. Also, before I get further into this, if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you'd like to leave a like or a comment, I wouldn't be mad. All right. That's enough of that stuff. So we have a Ben or a hen named Ben, maybe. Okay, we have a heart right up here, the heart. Oh, a person on a horse. Look at that. Right here you can see the horse. It kind of looks like a dog, actually. A person riding on a dog, perhaps. Oh, and this one reminds me of like a fairy. I'm thinking of like depictions of Midsummer's Night Dream or something like this, bending over and sprinkling little fairy dust, little magic right out of their hand. And you can see here's the head, okay, and the hair is kind of wild and beautiful, and the body here, and then kind of sprinkling this beautiful dust. Now, this one that looks like a dog also looks like a horse on this side. So it does look like a horse and a dog. So I want to look at this. We have the heart, we have the fairy, we have the person with the riding maybe on the back. It reminds me of a kid, right? A child trying to ride their dog like a horse. And so I feel like whenever we have the dog, I know this is somebody in your life who is so loyal, so loving. You have a bond that is unbreakable. And this could be that it is an actual animal companion. It could be that this is a human in your life, a friend, a sibling, a family member. Now, I feel like they have been around since you were a child, okay? And I imagine that they are a peer, probably. They're playing with you. And yeah, it just feels like there is a beloved tie to one another. Now, I feel like, oddly, as the years have gone by, there's almost a sense of coming into a place of, I don't know, maybe even becoming in love. Or maybe it's not that. Maybe mutual, I don't know, a need for more love in your life. And it doesn't have to be romantic, but it almost seems like, and I think this happens to a lot of us, is that we have these people who we've known forever and we love them, and you know, we communicate with them maybe even every day, right? But we just don't always take the time to connect on a deeper level because we're busy and they're busy and we're all busy. And as life kind of wears us down because we're busy and we have a lot of responsibilities, and it is hard to have these little moments in passing where you can go beyond the how are you doing, what's going on with you, you know, I was thinking about you, and you know, whatever, these kinds of conversations that we have, and get to these deeper things, right? Whatever it is, the spiritual stirrings, the revelations, talking about your dreams, your hopes, your desires, so on and so on and so on. But I feel like there's almost this sense of both of you needing that kind of connection, and the universe kind of nudging you to find one another again. And like I said, you maybe talk to them every day, but I think that there's really this feeling of like, okay, well, you have this person, you both have similar interests, or at least you understand each other. You're willing to listen to each other. So here is somebody for you to go and commune with. Now you have to make the time, you have to make the effort. And I think that this will come to pass. I feel like there's a sense of spending some really involved in quality time with one another. Now, I want to, I guess, it just feels like in my mind that there is a sense of growing, maybe even romantic love here. And now if it's a sibling, probably not, right? Hopefully not. But if it's like a friend, somebody that feels maybe like they are your kin, right? But not blood related, I feel like there is an opportunity to maybe go to that place with them. I don't know though. I don't know. I think it's just me making these connections. And also we have that devil energy. So, you know, along with everything else that I said about the devil archetype, there is a real sense of sensuality, okay? Of that tantric, the movement of these, you know, highly fiery energies, merging of one another, and so on and so on. I won't go too deeply into it, but that is a vibe, right? That is in the air. We cannot ignore that. But we do have this fairy, and the sprinkling of the fairy dust. It makes me think of just kind of that almost kind of fuzzy, intoxicated enchantment that happens when there is a deep love and there's an activation. And when you commune with each other, you go down into these deeper corridors of thinking, and it is bliss, you know. When is the last time that you sat and spoke to somebody heart to heart, soul to soul? You talked about things that transported you. You listened to them talking about their dreams, the things that they've, encountered and felt, and what they learned from that and what that means to them. I don't know about you, but I don't have these kinds of conversations that often. You would think with my husband and I, and we do sometimes, but we're busy like anybody else. But shout out to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My husband, Paul, over there is amazing. But, it comes naturally. It's going to be there when it wants to be, and when we have the time and will and effort put in. But it does, sometimes we don't have these kinds of conversations for days or even, a couple weeks at a time. And to me, anyways, this is where real love happens. This is where that true love becomes, in these subterranean kinds of inner worlds, realities that we create together, And so sometimes you think, and it's like, when's the last time that I felt like that? When's the last time that I spoke to somebody that way? When's the last time that somebody cared about how, my experience? They listened to me, they took in what I was thinking and feeling, and they remember, and they, have questions and connections, and, it's exciting. It's exciting when that happens. So I look at this and I feel like, yeah, there's an opportunity here for you. And I hope that you take it, because, I feel like this is something that your soul has been calling out for. I absolutely do. Now, we have a little bird sitting on its nest. Okay, so I feel that all of this is very much tied into it is a period of time that is coming up that will be very creative. Now, I feel like you're incubating right now. You're drawing upon the things around you, your inspirations, these kinds of interactions with people that you love and can get to that deeper place with. And I can imagine you're gathering all this energy, all of this information and impression and sensation. And not unlike the bird, you're taking great care with it. These are your little eggs of creativity, of life, of beautiful, magical things. And so I feel like in this next period of time, there will be such a movement of becoming, but also creating. Those things becoming of you, okay? And, another thing that I hope that you embrace, I truly do. I feel that, the last year or so has not always, it's been difficult for Aquarius people. I feel like there has been a real sense of loss of a variety of kinds. Things just, they haven't, on the surface, they have not gone your way exactly, but you have seen yourself through, and you have not given up. You have not given up, and you won't. I know that you won't. But there is this continued push towards kind of a renaissance in your life. And, I don't care how old you are, young, middle, aged. These next years are going to be ones that are quite fruitful for you. And I feel like this is a time where you find something, some medium, some place, some activity or group of, people or whatever it is, where you will tell your story. And I feel like that process will be magnificent. Will it be easy? No, not always. No. Because you've had some difficulties. You've not had an easy life. And I feel like there are times where you don't even want to share because you worry that it's burdensome. But the reality is, the way that I look at it, and you know me, I love to share about myself. Not everybody, not everybody that comes to this channel is very fond of it. But what are you gonna do? You can't make everybody happy. And I do. I love to talk. I'm obsessed with myself. No, I like to relate to people though. I like you to know I'm just a simple person. I've had some really hard things happen. And I have done some, I've destroyed my life more than once, through addiction mostly. And I've had, mental health crises and diagnoses and all kinds of things. And yet I've crawled on my hands and knees through hell and found my way out of it. And that's not to be boastful, prideful, or anything like that. But the people who I came across in my journey, especially in the darker days, the people that laid themselves open, they were very honest about their experience, their struggle, and their rise from it. Those people have been like saints for me because it made me realize that I myself could survive, and so that's why I share. That's why I talk about myself sometimes. I will tell you, it always kind of makes me laugh because people are like, can you just stop talking about yourself? And that's the voice I hear when I'm reading it. I'm not talking about anything that is boastful. I don't know, it's pretty self-deprecating most of the time. So I don't know, but that's it. You can't make everybody happy. But I understand that feeling of like, I don't want to bring down the vibe. I don't want to, make anybody feel uncomfortable or think that, hey, I'm like really self-centered and all I have to talk about is like, the things that have gone on in my life and the hardships and the things that I've done to help with that. But you know what? When people do talk about these things, you might save somebody that you don't even realize. Somebody might hear your story. They might read your story. They might see your artwork or, or meet you in passing and, somebody tells it, oh, they've had these things happen, but they're doing so well. And you have no idea how you affect people. You could be the reason that somebody else keeps going, and you might not ever know that. But, I think it's so important for us to, if we are so moved to, of course, you don't have to divulge, but I think it's important for us to be able to speak our experience, to find places where we can communicate these, wisdoms that we have. And if people aren't receptive to that, then boo for them, right? Because it's that one or two or, you know, however, whatever. Maybe, you know, I'm in 12-step for addiction to various things. But sometimes somebody will do a share. There's a room full of 80 people crying and moved and thinking, hey, I'm going to stay sober for another day. You know, I just heard this story that lit a fire in my chest, right? And it reminds me, why am I here? Why am I doing this? Why am I struggling through this? Why am I surviving another day when I could just like lay down and give up? But then you hear a story, somebody's story, and you think, man, that's amazing. I wonder if I can do that. I wonder if I can, you know, lift myself up. Yeah, and I think that you can. I know. I don't even think. I know that you can. I know it. All right, let's see. We also have 208. Okay, 208. Maybe an area code. What is 208? I was thinking 209. I know that one, but not 208. Okay, so we also have, let's take a look. Where else do we have? Where are we going here? Been there. Okay, so we have a person standing here, and it looks like they are tending to a tree, and it looks like a young tree. And again, we have person sitting on, it looks like a dog or a horse again. So I do, and you know, this is my gardening beginning of gardening season. So I'm going to be talking about these plants all the time. But I do feel like there is a sense of quite actually getting outside and doing some kind of planting, or maybe you're planting a tree. Maybe this is like a tree of honoring somebody. You know, maybe somebody has passed in the last year or so, and you're maybe gonna plant a tree for them. And I love that. I love when people do that. It makes me so happy to hear, you know, when somebody is honored in this way. And so, you know, I feel like there's a real draw to like, I need to get out in this air, out in the sun a little bit, wear your sunscreen. I'm not advocating being out there without sunscreen. And, you know, I think just being among the vibrance of life, you know. I don't know about you, but I could have the worst day. I could just, you know, and I have a toddler. Well, she's a preschooler now, but, you know, she's wild and she's smart and she's busy and she has a million questions, and she, you know, is learning how to run the whole show basically. And there are days where we don't get outside until, you know, 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock in the morning, and I can feel the discord in my being. You know, I'm agitated, I'm overstimulated, I'm burnt. You know, it's just like, and then I get outside and I breathe in the air, and I look at the sky and I look around. It's either snowy or it's green, no in between. And, you know, it starts to just fall away from me. All of that bundle of, you know, stress. And so I won't tell you, I won't be that person that says, hey, go touch some grass and breathe some fresh air. It's going to fix everything. No, it won't. It's not going to fix everything, but it might give you just that little, you know, that little place that you can sneak on through and get moving in the right direction on those days where you're feeling, you know, kind of icky, maybe a little bit melancholy, unmotivated, you know, and so on. So, yeah, I could see you being out there in the wilderness of sorts. All right, let's see. We have a capital E again. Lots of E's lately. Oops. Yeah, and we have that from the Ben or hen. There's a big E. Another E right here. Also a W maybe. Oh, I just spilled it right on there. W. E. We. So I almost wonder, I'm thinking of when you were a child, when you were young, having maybe a sibling that you would go out and play with, or a friend, cousin maybe, somebody in your peer group, and going out and playing in a pond or something, some kind of waterway, maybe a little creek. And I have a feeling, I'm thinking it's like getting lost together. Not lost, like you can't be found, but losing track of time, getting in trouble maybe for coming home too late. Back when we were allowed, you know, this was back in the day when we were just allowed to leave in the morning and come home, you know, for lunch or whatever. And then when the sun was starting to go down, we'd show back up, right? And all summer it was like that. Not anymore. I don't think kids do that anymore, probably. But I just feel like that for some reason this is coming up. And I wonder if they have an S name. A name that starts with an S. And there's something about a duck. I don't know. Something about a duck. And I can't really think of what that is. But maybe an encounter with a duck, or maybe there's a duck that lives nearby, or a family of ducks, or I don't know. But this person's coming up in mind. I don't know. It seems like this is a different energy, a different person maybe. But there's something with them. So go, if they are still with us, you know, in physical form, they have not transitioned, go and send them a message or call them and see what's going on with them. Check in with them, you know. Just make sure everything is going well. All right, so we have the Wild Bohemian Affirmation cards. These are the fire element. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and we'll flip through and stop where it feels right. All right. And it says, I have come. Nourish your body with kind, generous thoughts. You are who you say you are. You are who you say you are. Okay. All right. Aquarius, I love you. And I hope that you know that. I hope so, because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. I love it. I love spending this time together. I like, you know, I like that I have the ability to connect and bring you these messages. I also love hearing from you. I love hearing that something resonated. I love hearing maybe that it didn't, but you like the reading, or, you know, whatever. As long as you're not being mean, right? Although you're allowed to be mean if you want. I'm not going to control what you do. But yes. And so also, if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel so much. And if you haven't subscribed, please think about doing that. It's free to subscribe. What else? If you want to leave a comment, I do read them. I appreciate them, as I said. And yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I wanted to bring up that there's just, again, some scammy bot type accounts, you know, and you can see that if you look at the channel username or whatever, these ones are different, and you can kind of tell when it's like a, you know, they're like, oh, hit me up on my WhatsApp, or they use all those weird letters and stuff. And so anyways, if you see that, if they comment on something that you've commented on, you know, just be aware, there's the scammy people. If you don't know and you are, you know, worried that it might be a scammer person, you can always comment. Now, don't comment on the thread of comments like you're replying to it. Make a separate comment so then it pops up in my notifications. But let me know and say, hey, Lenor, Ula, is this you? And if it's not, I will say, it's not me. Thank you for letting me know. I'm going to go block that person. So, or that, whatever it is, that computer, you know, I don't know if they're real people or not, but, yeah, so watch out for that. Just, you know, be careful, be vigilant. And yeah, that's it. Aquarius, I love you. I love you. And I'm going to bed here in a second. So I thank you. And I hope that you have a wonderful day or sweet dreams wherever you're going from here. Take care of yourself. We will be back in, you know, I'm sure just a couple days. I'm sure there will be a bonus reading coming out soon for Aquarius. So anyways, look for that. I love you. I love you. I love you. Good night.